Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 6th October 2023. Before we generate supply and demand zones, let us quickly evaluate the high liquidity zones generated in our yesterday's report. So, in next 10 minutes, uh, let us evaluate quickly. So, let's start with the demand zones. Nifty Bank is having a high liquidity demand zone, but it is already tested 5 times. So we need to look for a deep entry or a fresh zone. So let's look into the chart. So we didn't get the entry today in the demand zone. The previous demand zone entry is still pushing the price up until the supply zone. Probably the supply zone pending orders any may push the price again into this demand zone. So we need to wait until we get the next entry more deep into this demand zone. We already identified a fresh 75 minutes demand zone, and this fresh 75 minutes demand zone could be our entry point when bank nifty comes back into this zone, this high liquidity daily demand zone. So we are going to take entry in this 75 minutes demand zone. So today we didn't get the entry. Let's look into the next stock. Next support demand zone about India is a pierced zone. We are not looking into this. And Bajaj Finserv. Let us check if there is any entry. So we didn't get entry. See the move. Day before yesterday, we got an entry in Bajaj Finserv. See how this high liquidity zone pushed the price. Now it created a new zone, drop, base, and rally. So we didn't get any entry in this stock. Let's look into the next stock. High liquidity zone. What is the next? Dr. Reddy. So it didn't reach the demand zone. So entry is not triggered in this stock. So let's look into the next stock. What is the next high liquidity? Hindustan Unilever, but it is already pierced. So we don't look into this stock. Next one is Indus Tower. Previously, once we took an entry in this stock. So we got a new fresh zone in 75 minutes. So at this zone high, is it reached? Yes. The last closing candle, we got this entry. And after it touched the zone, it gave a rejection. So you need to wait. If you are looking for an intraday trade, probably you won't take, you would not have taken this during the last minute. Look into the 15-minute stock, you get better clarity. 15 minutes time frame. See, almost during the last candle, during the last half an hour in this candle, just reached, but here we have the clarity. So intraday traders might have avoided this stock, but those who are looking for short-term trading, probably you might have got an entry. So you need to wait till tomorrow or next day until it reaches your target. So this is about Indus Tower. So what is the next stock? Next high liquidity is a sale. So entry is not triggered on sale. So let's look into the next stock, Tata Steel. But remember, Tata Steel you should plan only intraday trade only because it is high on the curve, demand zone, high on the curve. Only intraday trades only will be accepted. If you want to go for short-term trade, the condition is your price, your daily price, your price should not have touched weekly supply zone and monthly supply zone. If not yet reached those supply zones, and if your demand zone is below those supply zones, and if you have a good risk reward, you can take this trade even for short term, even though it is high on the curve. But Tata Steel is already reached weekly demand zone as well as monthly demand zone, and from there price is coming down. So that's why short term trades are not acceptable in high on curve, but only intraday trades are acceptable. So Tata Steel, is there any intraday trade in Tata Steel? No, it didn't reach the zone. So this is about demand zones. So none of the demand zones got triggered except Indus Tower. Indus Tower reached the zone almost during the last hour of the trading session. So definitely it is not for the intraday trade, but short-term traders might have taken a trade or swing traders. Now let us look into supply zones. Index stocks except Nifty and Bank Nifty we are not analyzing. So what is the next resistance? Now we are looking into supply zones. So we are looking for R underscore SZ or C underscore SZ or TCP underscore SZ. So Bosch India Limited. What kind of trade it is? This is a resistance at low on the curve. See, if it is a low on the curve, only intraday trades we should look for. And it is not pierced. Actually, I have some concerns about this high liquidity supply zone. The reason is, see, it is already tested multiple times. So we are looking for supply zones at the deep, and this is already tested, not fresh. Probably it will be broken soon unless a new supplies are created somewhere and push the price down. But otherwise, you can't take trade in this. And you have another supply created a long back. That is somewhere in 2018, September 2018. And even that supply, the supply which is in the deep, is already consumed some orders. That's why I marked this blue color line. So you have to take a trade only within the small region, but it is already a tested zone, 75-minute zone. So it's not recommended, it is not fresh. And above that, this gap, there are no 75-minute supply zones. If that is the case, what will happen? There are higher chances of violating this zone. Can we say 100% it will violate? We cannot say, because what will happen if institutions, if again they create a new supply and push the price down, still this zone will be valid. Next time again price reaches to that new supply zone, we may get an entry. But timing, we don't have any proper zones to look for the trade. So we have to wait and watch. So this is not a stock at this point of time to go for a short trades, because all the supplies are within the lower time frame, that is within the 75 minutes time frame. Sorry. All the supply zones within this 75 minutes time frame, they are not fresh. See here, this 75 minutes time frame, it is not fresh. Go to 2018 in the 75 minutes time frame. Look here. There the price came down and again it consumed the orders. So it is not fresh. Above that, we don't have any supply zones within this high liquidity zone. So that is the reason why I am doubtful about this zone. If institutions, if they don't further create any new supply in the coming days, most probably this zone will be violated. And another strong reason why it will be violated is this is low on the curve. The supply zone is low on the curve. So it should have some expiry period, right? So let us hope this will be broken soon and Bosch Limited will further go up by breaking this supply zone. So this is one important point we should observe from this zone. But otherwise, let's move on to the next stock. We have a counter trend trade zone which is fresh but already tested once. One rejection is there. So you can find this in 75 minutes time frame. So in 75 minutes, probably you need to look for a deep entry because it is already tested, or you should look for a fresh zone. So McDowell, that is United Sprints. Remember previously once we have taken an entry in this stock somewhere during the last week. So see, this is the 75-minute zone. Last week, it's already tested here. It was a fresh zone here, newly created zone. After that, it gave two entries. So, but this is a rejection as per 75 minutes time frame, but this is a real entry. So we took this entry here. After that, see how price came down to this daily demand zone. Now this demand zone pushed the price up. And see here, because this is not fresh, what happened? Today it is violated, this zone is violated. You know what would have happened if you take this trade in this zone? Definitely our stop loss might have been hit. That's why 75-minute zone, if it is tested once, we should be very careful. And next 75 minutes, this is a resistance supply zone. The 70-minute supply zone is a resistance supply zone as per NeoStock's software. So Next time McDowell reaches into this zone, you can accept a trade. But looks like this the width of the zone is very a little big. So you should be very careful with your risk management or go to the 15 minutes time frame and find 15 minutes inside this. That way you can manage your risk. So you have to wait till tomorrow to get the entry in this stock. So let's move on to the next stock. PEL. This is a resistance of it is already tested 6 times. It is not at pierced. But remember, this is low on curve. But what is the zone? Supply zone. Supply zone on low on curve. Demand zone on high on curve are eligible only for day trading. If you want to go for short-term trades, there are some rules that I already explained, those rules. So you should look for only intraday trade setup. What is intraday trading setup? You should look for an entry either in 15 minutes or 5 minutes. Actually, 5 minutes is the ideal choice, but 15 minutes is also valid. So let us look into the PEL. Look into the daily first. See, somewhere long from the year from May 22, the supply zone is carrying. It is holding the prices. So it is already tested. So what are the conditions? Either we should look for a deep entry or you should look for a fresh 75 minutes. So this 75 minutes is a newly created 75. So it is fresh. Let us look into 75 minutes. Sorry, this is daily. 75 minutes. Is it a fresh zone? Yes, it is a fresh zone. Now what happened today? It gave a entry, see the strong rejection from here. The 75 minutes. You know what happens? Previously also once I explained, but once again I should remind this point. Generally, the daily zones, if you get an entry in a fresh zone in a daily time frame, I'm talking about fresh zones. So the fresh daily demand zone is having, I mean high liquidity demand zone is having the ability to push the stock down. If it is a supply zone, it will push the stock until its 75 minutes demand zone. That means a daily supply zone, high liquidity supply zone can push the price until the daily 75 minutes. That is one time frame below. So that is the minimum target what we can expect in a short term. Exactly the same way, if you have a 75 minutes zone inside a high liquidity daily zone, if it is a fresh, at least it can push the price, the 75 minute zone can push the price up to its 15 minutes demand zone. So that is what my trade plan, according to my trade plan, what I did, here is a 75 minutes. So inside the 75 minutes, because this is a day trading, I am going for a 15 minutes time frame zone. So within this 75 minutes, I found a 15-minute zone. Rally, base, drop. Of course, this is the stop loss for 15 minutes. Okay, rally, base, drop. Now look into the 15 minutes demand zone, the nearest. This is the 15 minutes nearest demand zone. So drop, base, rally. Now what you can do, because this is a day trading, if you want, you can fine tune at 5 minutes level as well. So what I did, I went to the 5 minutes. Inside that 15 minutes, I was looking for a 5 minute zone. Look here. Sorry, this is 15 minutes, right? Let me go to the 5 minutes. Let me change the time frame to 5 minutes. Yeah. We have a rally base drop. The stop loss is until here. Rally base drop. That is at the 5 minute zone. Where I want to take trade at this 75 minutes zone low, because this is a fresh 75 minute zone inside high liquidity zone. So I am taking this zone low as my entry. What is this zone low? 1082.75, right? So here zone low 1082.75. Okay, I noted down the value here, otherwise you will forget later. So this zone low is our entry. So what I am doing, previously also once I shown how I will be adjusting my entry as per the higher time frame. So here, let me move this my entry, because I am going to take my entry at this zone. See how my risk is minimized. But what is the disadvantage? Sometimes your price go here and then come back. Okay, I'm okay with that, because I'm more concerned about my risk management, and generally price will travel until here. The reason is our strategies as per high liquidity zones. This strategy concept works always, or at least most of the times. So this is my entry, and this is my stop loss. Have you got the entry? Yes. And similarly, within this 15 minutes demand zone, I fine tune to 5 minutes demand zone, because this is a day trading. So this is going to be my target. See in which candle you got your entry is triggered. This is at 10:55. Today at 10:55, morning 10:55 a.m. the entry is triggered, and when it reached the target on this candle, that is 11:25. 11:25 just reached your target. So that means within half an hour, our intraday trade is finished. This is at 10:55 and this is at 11:25 a.m. So during the morning hour, within the half an hour time period, our intraday trade is finished. But how much profit we got? Okay, what is the entry? We already noted 1082.75. And what is the target? 1064. So 1064 is your target. So minus 1064. So you got 18 rupees 75 paisa profit on each share. So now you need to look what is the lot size, a future lot size for PEL, and what is the cost of the lot. So let's go to margin calculator. Zerodha's margin calculator. There, let me enter PEL. So 750 is the lot size. What is the cost of the lot? 1,96,957. So into 750. So you got 14,000 rupees profit within half an hour period during the intraday. So what is the return on investment, ROI, into 100 divided by cost of the lot, 1,96,957. So we got 7.1% profit in just half an hour period. And that happened because of the power of the high liquidity zone. So that is what I said. The daily demand zones or supply zones are having ability to push the price until 75 minutes zone. Similarly, the 75 minutes zone, fresh zone, inside the daily high liquidity zone is having the ability to push the price down or up if it is demand or supply zones until its next level zone, that is 15 minutes zone. So that is the reason why we are taking entry at fresh 75 minutes, but we fine tune to 15 minutes level. Previously, most of the times you have seen, we are taking entry at the daily level, but we are fine tuning to 75 minutes level. Now this time, we are taking entry at the 75 minute fresh zone, but now we fine tune to 15 minutes. Inside the 15 minutes, we fine tune to 5 minutes. So we took an entry at 5 minutes zone, and our target is also reached to the 5 minutes zone. So this is a perfect trade. Good, we have one successful intraday trade today. And what is the next stock? So we have Titan. We have a controlling supply zone, zero test, zero rejections, zero close inside, and zero pierced. And it is at the equilibrium. And what about the trend? Trend is monthly up and weekly is also up. Trend is not favor, but daily is sideways. So probably your lower time frame also could be sideways, or we'll see. Because it is a fresh zone, we fine tune to 75 minutes near the zone. So our entry is this zone low. But what happened today? Stopped out, right? How it is stopped out. But before stop out, whether is it given any short-term return? Let us look into this stock. So let's go to. So in lower time frame, that is 75 minutes, we found a fresh zone at the zone low of high liquidity daily demand zone. So our entry is at this zone low. So that means we will be adjusting our trade something like this to this daily zone low. So this will be our entry. What is the zone low? This candle low. 3261 is our entry. What happened? It is triggered, went deep, but it didn't reach the stop loss. After that, there is a rejection. But where we will be looking for your target? The next 75 minutes demand zone. What is our next 75 minutes demand zone? So this will be our target. But is it reached? No. Only a small. Okay, but at least look into if whether it is reached or not. You may get clarity in lower time frames. So after it reached, this is only the maximum return it has given. Maybe if you are comparing with risk, maybe 1 is to 2 return it might have given. But we will be waiting until this zone high. So that means it didn't reach the target. But what happened? After that, our stop loss is hit and we got a loss in this stock. So we have to accept the loss. Okay, but before that, you should also get a doubt. This is a high liquidity zone. Why? So easily it is broken. Even here, see here how strong the demands. That means there are no pending orders here. Yes, there are some pending orders here. That's why it pushed the price down. But it is these pending orders are not sufficient enough to dominate the demand. The supply is very weak here, weak supply, but we have a strong because newly created demand zone. Maybe so many pending orders, so many new orders demand, and that pushed the price up. Even though it resisted for some time, but strength is not enough. Okay, but this is a high liquidity zone. At least one test it would have given, right? How easily it failed. So I already told you yesterday. I hope you attended yesterday's video. I said it is very important because many interesting points I explained yesterday. Yesterday I told you C underscore DZ or C underscore SZ. They are very strong on quarterly and monthly and at some extent on weekly. But daily onwards, their strength is not very strong. As per the priority, C underscore DZ or SZ, they are the highest priority among the high liquidity zones. Next one is S underscore or R S underscore DZ or R underscore SZ. That is support resistance zones. But what I told yesterday, when it comes to daily onwards, support and resistance zones are having high priority than C underscore DZ or C underscore SZ. Their priority is going down. Because you can't guarantee every time, or at least more than 80% you can't guarantee on S underscore DZ and S underscore SZ on daily time frame. Please remember. On these time frames, their priority is less than 80% or less than 70% sometimes. So today, we have seen practically. But every stock, it won't happen like this. So that is the reason why, because I know these zones are not as strong as resistance and supply, sorry, support and resistance zones. They are not as strong as support and resistance zones on daily time frame. That's why always I am looking for minimizing the risk as much as possible. If I get the loss, I want to get a minimal loss. That's why I put a strict rule on this daily demand zone. Actually, you would have taken entry here. But what I did, I've been adjusting my entry into exactly it matches with daily demand zone. That way my risk will be minimized now. So how much loss we got? See, what is the stop loss? the height of this candle. That is 3270 minus, what is the entry? We adjusted the entry to this zone low, daily zone low. What is the daily zone low? Low of this candle, 3261.35. So we got 8.65 rupees loss on each share. So what is the lot size of Titan? And what is the cost of the lot? 375 is the net quantity, and the cost of the lot 2 lakh 15,970 into 375. We got 3,243. Sorry, 3,243.75 loss. But earlier, how much profit we got in PEL? 14,000 profit we got. Here, 14,000 plus. Here, 3,000 plus. That is 3,243. Still, we would have got around 11,000 rupees profit if you would have taken both these trades in case. So, what is the return on the investment? The loss you got actually. Not return on your investment, it is loss on your investment. So, if you got this loss for this margin amount, so into 100 divided by 2,15,970. That means you got 1.5% loss you got. But you got 7%, 7.2% or 7.1. Okay, around 7% profit you got. See the difference. This is what always we have to do, a proper risk management to minimize our losses and maximize our returns. So any more stocks? So this is the last one, right? So this is about the analysis about the high liquidity zones we generated during yesterday's session. Now, let us generate demand and supply zones for our daily time frame. For entry time frame daily, let us filter the stocks which are near to the daily demand zone. So these 7 stocks are near to the daily demand zone. We have only one high liquidity zone near to the daily demand zone, that is a sale. So let's go back. For entry time frame daily, let us filter the stocks which are near to the daily supply zone. So these 10 stocks are near to the daily supply zone. We have high liquidity supply zone, ITC, which is already tested 3 times, having 6 rejections. Monthly trend is up, but weekly is sideways and daily is down. It's a good scenario. If you find any fresh zone in 75 minutes inside the supply zone or a deep entry inside this daily supply zone, might work out. We have OFSS. OFSS also earlier we got a couple of entries. successful in the form of rejections. So once again it is near to the daily supply zone. And what else we have? That's it. So let's go back. Let us filter the stocks closed inside demand and supply zones. Entry time frame daily. Let us filter the stocks which are closed, where price closed inside daily demand zone. So these are the filtered stocks. So total 32 stocks are listed where price closed inside daily demand zones. Let's go back. Entry time frame daily. Let us filter the stocks where price closed inside daily supply zone. So this is the filtered list. So total 40 stocks are filtered where price closed inside daily supply zone. Let's go back and filter tested zones. Entry time frame is daily. Let us find the daily tested demand zones. Only these three demand zones are tested. Let's go back. For entry time frame daily, let us find daily tested supply zones. This is the filtered list. Total 22 daily supply zones are tested. Let's go back and find newly created demand and supply zones. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks having newly created demand zones. So these 14 stocks are having newly created demand zones. Let's go back. For entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks having newly created supply zones. So no stocks are filtered. That means there are no newly created daily supply zones. This is about the filtered list. Now I will generate demand and supply zones for all the 201 stocks. This is a reference. This is for your reference. Entry time frame daily without any filters. I am generating the report. I will keep on scrolling this list. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video and you can study the parameters. So this is the complete list. I wish this information is useful to you. So let us meet again in our next video. Have a good day. Take care.